So it is out here, you go straight from paddocks, and paddocks into big backyards and houses, and yeah, go from sort of paddocks to 5-acre blocks, and then before you know it, you're in the actual town itself. And that's how most of these towns run in this country, you know. I've been told by a French girl that you sort of you got densely populated city, and then you drive for a fair way, and then all of a sudden, bang! It's just country sort of thing. Her grandmother lived out in the country, so look at some of this. And the shit like that falls down. There's guys out here with more firewood than I've got. Well, actually, probably the same amount, but the whole lot's hardwood, not a mix of bloody boxthorn, softwood construction pine, conifer, and hardwood, and demolished buildings hardwood mixed with friggin' hardwood logs. You know, around here the whole lot is just straight hardwood logs. That's strange. Old train line. Actually, it's not that strange, because a lot of these areas you got deserted train lines where they've you know, had industries and shit, and then it's all just sort of gone kaplop, you know. And yeah, have a look at this guy washing his big rig up here. Waggy waggy. As you can probably see, that's a basically a full-size trailer and then a small trailer. A lot of them in this state are like that. In Western Australia you can have 2 or 3, and if you get right in the outback, sometimes 4 trailers. Usually it's only mines and stuff like that that have the 4 trailers. I remember as a kid, 3 full-size trailers on the back of a big rig. That was pretty normal, actually. At this state, a lot of them are half-size and then a full-size. And that's about as big as you get, generally speaking. A particular auto factory has 2 full-size and 1 half-size, I think, that go between the 2 auto plants. Yeah, I'll see if I can disappear to this other small turn. There's going to be a turn off here somewhere. This is another ripper. I should show you this. It's really cranking it now. Burning off in the backyard. In the middle of bloody suburbia. When you smell it through the heating system of your car. Not exactly suburbia, it's country town suburbia, so it's sort of, it's different. Somebody owns some serious amount of glass houses out here, I never realised that. Yeah, I get a bit of steam coming out the side of one, or smoke or something, out of the boiler system. That is pretty substantial. Pellets or something out the front. Potting mix or whatever. Holy smoke, that's bloody huge. They got a truck, which is probably for transporting all the damn produce, more often than not. It's funny how you get some of these towns and you just think, oh fuck, there's nothing in this place, and then you find out there's something bizarre, you know. There's one town I used to go to and you wouldn't think anything of it, there's nothing there. And then one day I was asked to take all these chemicals to this joint, and turns out they had a bloody abattoir there. It wasn't huge, but you know, probably a little bit bigger than the chicken plant I used to work at, maybe nearly double the size of it. and you just never see it coming. But we passed another joint there I didn't show. It's a stock feed place. Masses of silos, stuff like that. They probably sell, you know, just cracked wheat or something like that, but nothing to say they wouldn't, you know, have the pallets and all that sort of stuff that they actually make in the place. One of the guys I work with at the piggery actually used to work at a place that used to make feed pellets. And it wouldn't be this place because it's too far from where he lived, but yeah, you never sort of know sometimes, and then you find out there's some of these, you know, joints like that, you know, masses of hot houses, and you'd have never even known it existed if you didn't take the certain road. You know, you got to almost live there to know that it exists, sort of thing. It's like another town near me, they're absolutely inundated with a shit house with chickens. And that's a big enough industry around where I am, but if you didn't live there, you'd never know. Unbelievable, some of this. There are that many old stone buildings around here. The sun seems to be... There we go, now you can see a bit better. Yeah, this one's a little bit different from most. It's got another one with a newer roof on it and a bloody big steam boiler mounted on more stones. And the sun's also pissing you around, so there you go. Yeah, that's the steam boiler on the right there. And the other one's half hidden by the bush now. Bloody sun. Shines in that hard that the blooming camera tries and goes darker, and then you can't see what I'm trying to show. Stupid blooming electronic design. There's also, as you can notice, a lot of conifers around here. And also just regular sort of radiata pine as well. But yeah, they seem to have got stuck in a plant in conifers about the same time that my relatives did. I might do a U-turn because I think this town's back a bit. I was looking for another little one, and there's a smaller one that I remember goes over a bizarre bridge, and I've driven past the bridge about half a mile back, so we'll see. It may be further down here, the town I'm looking for, or we might just look at the other town anyway, over the rickety little bridge. There's a rip snorter. All the roof sheets falling off the shed in the back. Glass all smashed out. Friggin' hell. A lot of glorified bloody sheds here, dotted with caravans. That's an alright joint, but that's only rendered. Whoa, I think someone might have had a house fire. Which might explain the caravans and the like. The stone building. At least that's in good condition. This isn't the place by name, but I remember a lot of it. So it probably is the place I was looking for. A little shack out the back with asbestos roof on it there. Yeah. Exactly, no. Nah. See some of the stuff out there on the right, I don't know if you can see it. That's all mullock heaps. And even on the left here, there's a couple. That's where they basically mine the gold, and that's all the shit they throw out of the mine that's got no gold in it. Another one right there. Actually, they're all over the bloody place here. And obviously they ripped out a decent flaming amount of stuff. Well, you'd hope so anyway, because they got a decent amount of bloody rubbish out of it that they just dump in the paddock, and that's it. And a lot of those stacks have been chucked there in the 1800s and they're still there, and a lot of it's just all like crushed rock basically. A lot of quartz in amongst it, sometimes other rocks as well. Yeah, there was some of these, they're actually sort of bare. It's because there's so much blooming rock in them that the grass doesn't really like to grow, and rock that just drains out straight away. There's all little white patches and that on them. They never sort of get grass completely, even though they've been there for, you know, 1850s or something like that. I got the tablet out and flicked the modem on and done a bit of Google Maps checking. Fortunately, it's got a GPS in it. I usually leave turned off, but I turn it on occasion. And yeah, this is the right town after all. The other town I thought it was actually a completely different town. It's a lot bigger that I've never even been to, so interesting. They got, I don't know if you can see it. No, you can't now. I've seen it in other joints too, and it's sort of strange how they still do it in small towns. It's actually bluestone guttering. There's a little bit over there still too. Again, I'm back past some of the stuff. There's that joint there, all the asbestos smashed in. That's the one with the windows missing. It's yeah. There's another guy here who's got a mess that I don't feel so bad about having a couple of old cars. When you see this dude with like 25 cars, geez, a lot of asbestos joints here. Just blooming caravan with a bloody room connected to it. Jeez, a joint with no paint on back there. There's one joint where someone rolled their car by looks, but they got it for sale. Shit, that's probably the nicest house in the town. They wouldn't be getting that cheap. That's a reasonably nice joint too. Looks like he's got a bit of money. Where are we here? In here somewhere. It's got a lot of stuff. Here we go. Freaking cars and shit everywhere. So the whole joint is just loaded with cars, scrap metal, bloody logs. Yeah. There's another town that's a little offshoot of this, and it might have been the main one that I was thinking of. Don't know if we can be bothered to go to it because it's might not be the right one, and the truth is it's probably just as daggy as this town was anyway, so give you an idea, a lot of those country joints, all the water pooling up in the paddock, they just yeah, don't have a lot of money, and I mean literally some of the places just I'll put it like this, my house wouldn't look too bad at all amongst the rest of them there. As old and haggard as my house looks, it's actually a little bit larger than some of the ones there, you know, because some of them they've literally just got two caravans and a bloody little hut beside the caravan, you know, but a lot of them are sort of about the same size and standard as what I'm living in, sometimes even smaller. And yeah, you can't get away with everything with the local government out here. You might think you can, and a lot of people assume that you can, but they're bloody hard-nosed, some of these local governments out here. They're closer to bloody Nazism than you'd believe. Some of the crap I copped when I had the place. You know, they didn't really enforce it, but geez, bits of hard cases, or could be if they wanted to be. No ripper that is. Bloody rafters are all collapsing in on it, but it's had a roof on there probably, you know, 20 years ago or whatever. Yeah, all proper stone. They got all the mortar and that all built up around the sides there. Yeah. Quite interesting. What a pity some of these joints end up going like that, but this is a lot of rocks and stuff around, I don't know, and stuff out, bunch of wood out there. I don't know if one there tried to fix up and put rafters up and then given up on after all the local government said no. Definitely a hunk of rocks there. I don't want to go too far forward there. These bloody roads, they build them like complete domes just to get the water to wash off. And it's a real bitch to do a turn on them because it can lean right in on one side. So, quite intriguing. Oh, that's interesting. There are bricks in the middle and a near new flaming wheelbarrow in there, so it might have been a project that they tried to do up and sort of the project fell to bits, or the council did, or the house wasn't going to work out or something. Usually it's bloody local government. A place like that, if my brother-in-law come in, they'd actually have a chance to save it, whereas if they went run-of-the-mill normally, look at the old cars and shit over there. They would just get flattened, basically. They wouldn't have a hope in hell if they just went with the normal run-of-the-mill government. That would be pretty much the end of it. Because they don't want you to fuck around with old shit. You know, it's just the way they go. And I'll tell you enough every chance they get, and that's my brother-in-law's speciality, is untying all the damn knots, basically, and given approval regardless of if the local government employed building inspector doesn't like it. And a lot of those dudes, holy smoke, they don't train very excessively, I'll put it like that. It's a 6-month course. Yeah, 6-month course. A larger, well, the one where my sister and brother-in-law is, he's got a trade qualification, all right. Slump tester. That's right, testing the quality of concrete. That was his qualification. 6 months and a university later, he's telling everybody else how to build their damn houses. And the same dude tried to modify his own house and had part of it all fuck up, basically, as he tried to take out a load-bearing wall. So, but when you get someone like my brother-in-law who's, you know, qualified building engineer, it's all, he knows what he's bloody looking at, you know. And, yeah, that same building inspector who would pick the hell out of other people's stuff passed a building. I'm not really supposed to say this. Here we are again. Shed, bit of a veranda with half a roof missing, caravan out the back. That may very well have been someone's residence. Anyway, I'm not really supposed to say this, but there's a building that was passed by this dickhead building inspector, and the stumps were untreated pine. Just run-of-the-mill 4x4 construction pine for internal use only, whacked into the ground as stumps. The span was 1.5 times too big on the veranda, so it couldn't handle the weight load that it should standardly be able to handle. You know, and yeah, anyway, my brother-in-law can tell you usually what you need to do to fix up stone buildings or anything that may be turning to shit, or what your options are if you do actually have any options. And usually you do, because it's surprising what products are out there to fix up things that aren't quite what they should be, including injecting large amounts of plastic into the ground to lift up foundations of stone buildings. and the plastic will then set hard, and your stones will all be in place again, and it's all approved and everything. And yeah, some strange stuff out there, but you know, if you're not in the game, you sort of wouldn't know. And if you're not a qualified engineer or qualified building engineer, you wouldn't know about a lot of this stuff either.